All right, Shalom Israel, back again with a new lesson today, and I'm going to title this lesson something on the lines of "The truth is not for everyone." And the reason why I want to do this lesson is because it inspired me to reach out to you newcomers out there who have been searching deep for the truth in the scriptures, and you may have stumbled across a lot of brothers out here who's within the truth, mainly the apostles and elders who are speaking the truth in all sincerity and honesty, and based off what the scriptures actually say, to give a clear understanding of what it entitles, and what's actually the truth and what's not the truth. And I see a lot of young brothers and sisters out there who are coming into this thing, and they are inspired, and the spirit bear witness within them to get it and to understand. But at the same time, when they try to go out, it's like it when they try to go out and they try to explain to either their loved ones or family members, friends, or whoever, when they try to spread the truth, they are automatically looked down upon. They're laughed at. They are called a fool, and many other things that can bring their spirit down. So I kind of wanted to just take a moment and just dive into this thing, and just to try to help a lot of you brothers and sisters who are in this truth out there on seeing why it is that a lot of people who you may come in contact with to try to spread this knowledge and truth to, why they won't get it. And I think it's very important that we understand, because even during the ancient time, when Yahweh Shah came on the scene to spread the good news to the nation of Israel, you had Jews, you had the Judites, which consist of the tribes Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, and then you had the other 10 tribes, which consisted of the northern kingdom, because at the time of King Solomon's domain over Israel, when he failed in the eyes of the Most High, going after other gods, the Most High told King Solomon that because of his because of what he did, that Israel was going to suffer, and the northern and southern kingdom was going to split and go into captivity. And that's what happened. And so when Yahweh Shah came on the scene to gather the whole nation of Israel and bring them back onto the Most High, right? When he came back on the scene to preach the word, and to show everyone that through him salvation was given, grace and liberty was given to come back to the Most High, to repent, for the kingdom is at high. You had a lot of Pharisees, scribes, who doubted him because they were stuck on the old traditions of man's doctrine, which was Moses' law. And I want to do a different video on that topic, because that's another controversial topic as well. But nevertheless, the whole point is that when Yahweh Shah came on the scene to reteach the good works and to spread the truth to Israel, you had a lot of Israel who doubted the man and pretty much laughed, scoffed at him, tried to get him killed automatically before he actually went and died on the cross for us. And then later on, when you had Peter, Paul, Barnabas, and them that went into the Greek islands and stuff to preach the word, the same thing happened to them. They started getting cast out because they were preaching contrary to the law, to what before Yahweh Shah came on the scene, they only knew of man's doctrine pertaining to Moses' law. So when they started teaching the truth to the Gentiles, which pretty much was Israelites who when they was taken on to captivity, they started living like the heathens, so they became Gentiles. When they started getting preached upon, there was some who had faith, meaning that, when you would go and spread the truth and knowledge to them, they understood. They had ears to hear and they had eyes to see, to understand. But then you have certain Israelites who didn't understand the gospel that was being preached, and nor did they believe. They just could not get it. Like their spirit could not bear witness with the spirit, pretty much. Okay, anything that you would tell them, they didn't understand. So hopefully, through this little lesson, that you guys will be edified and understand that, if you are in this truth and you're trying to, put the knowledge and the truth out for others to get and receive, but they keep being rebellious towards you, keep laughing at you, keep telling you don't know what you're talking about. I just want to, bring your attention and come into the scriptures to show you what Yahushua actually went through, and show you what Paul and them had to deal with, because they all went through the same thing, trying to get everyone to understand and come back, to the Most High. So we're going to start here in the book of Matthew, chapter 11, and we're going to start at verse 15. Now, this is pertaining to Yahushua speaking, to the disciples and so forth, and he's relating to John the Baptist, right? Well, we're going to start at verse 15, and it says here, "He that hath ears to hear, let him hear." Verse 16, "But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows." Okay. Verse 17, "And saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced." So meaning they have played, musical instruments or whatnot, but you didn't dance. "We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented." Verse 18, "For John," meaning John the Baptist, "came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, hey," they say, "he hath a devil." So when John the Baptist came on the scene and he didn't take part in eating or drinking, people cast him out and automatically assume there's something wrong with him. They called him the devil. Verse 19, "The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber." So they said, look at this cat, man. He coming up in here all glutinous, winebibber, meaning calling him, in other words, calling him a drunkard, a drunk, "a friend of the publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children." Here's the point. Verse 20, "Then began he," meaning Yahushua, "to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not." So what he did was, when Yahushua pretty much told them, like, hey, man, okay, here's the deal. John the Baptist came, and because he didn't take part in what you guys were doing, because he was preaching the word, you guys, baffled him and called him the devil. But then here I come, not judging anyone, but I've, sat here, I've eating, I've drinking with you and everything. But then you cast me out and you call me a drunkard, someone who loved wine, because Yahushua loved to drink wine, and all this. They basically threw him under the bus. Verse 21, "Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon," which is the cities where the heathens live, "they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes." Verse 22, "But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than for you." Meaning, when he said in verse 21, hell, I could have went to Tyre and Sidon where the heathens, dwell, and if I would have went there and performed my miracle works onto them, they would have bowed down and repented and came back onto me. But here I am, I done everything for you and showed you all of my great works, and yet you choose to believe not, and you don't want to repent for your ways. That's what he's saying, basically. Verse 23, "And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee have been done in Sodom, it will have remained unto this day." Verse 24, But I say unto you that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. So he's saying Sodom is better off than you guys in the day of judgment, because they would have most likely repented if they would have saw the good works and everything that Yahushua had done. Verse 25. At that time, Salakia, Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and the prudent, okay, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. Verse 27. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. So what is that saying? Basically, it's saying that you can't come unto the Father unless the Father puts the Spirit for you to know the truth, and then you can come on through to the Father through his Son Yahushua. Because when someone, if you are amongst in today's realm, the the apostles and elders who have been given the Spirit to teach you the works and the truth, what Yahushua, to sum it up in a sentence, is saying, only through me I can bring you back to the Father. But if the Spirit is not put on you to understand, then you can't go to the Father. So the only way for us to get to the Father is to get through Yahushua by understanding this truth. This is why he was preaching. This is why he was preaching this to all the men. And you had certain men that were rebellious. Majority, all of them were rebellious because they couldn't understand Salakia, what he was saying. All right. So let's jump over real quick to John. We're going to go to John 14, and we're going to start at verse 6. And it says here, Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So again, he's reestablishing that in order for you to even come to the Father, you got to go through him. Okay? Verse 7. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. So what is that in relation to? Well, we just read in Matthew that he said that if he had performed all the miracles in the cities like Tyre, Sidon, and Sodom, they would have been better off, and they would have repented because they knew of him. They knew of the works, meaning that they, by them knowing of him, and him bringing miracles onto them, they not only would know him, who he is, but they'll know that the Father dwelleth in him. That's basically what he's saying. Verse 8, Philip said unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it suffice us. And Yahushua said unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? Verse 10, believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the works. So basically, in other words, he's saying that, hey, everything that I'm doing of my Father's will. Okay? Because, the Father dwelleth in me. And this is the only reason why, in order for you to get through the Father, you have to get through me, because everything is being filtered through me in order for you to understand. All right. But let's get to the point, because we got some more meat to chew on. All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 6. And we're going to start at verse 9. We're going to start at verse 9 through 11. So you guys understand where this is going. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 6 verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Verse 10, make the heart of this people fat, and make their eyes sorry, and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Verse 11. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. So to break that down, basically, you're going to have a lot of people out there who you're going to try to wake up to this truth. But even though they have eyes to see, they won't see it. And even though they have ears to hear, they won't actually hear it, because it'll go right into one ear and right out the other. Okay. And they won't understand unless if they accept what they hear and see what they see within their heart, and they convert and be healed, and they pray upon it, that the Most High can open up their eyes and their spirit to understand it and receive the truth and the knowledge to what's being taught in front of them. But the last verse 11 is saying that this will be like this even up until, and I'm just speaking, paraphrasing here, because we're heading into the time of Jacob's trouble. So you got a lot of people right now that the word has been, the word is being preached all throughout the four corners of the earth. But you won't have a lot of people actually waking up until that last minute, until, Jacob's trouble come, until, the earth is in, strife and in a deep state of trouble, because you have certain people that's waking up to everything now. They're waking up to the mark of the beast. They're waking up to what's really going on with, Esau taking over in terms of his beast system and everything else like that. So you have certain people that's waking up now, and the ones that's waking up now, they understand, they get it, because it was planted in their lot for them to wake up and understand in the latter days of what's going on. But then what he's saying here is, the people who didn't wake up or whatever, eventually when all hell breaks loose, when it's too late, then they'll wake up and see that, man, this brother was telling the truth, or man, I should have listened to what they were saying beforehand, because they was trying to warn me. They was trying to let me know. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it's actually talking about. So let's jump over to Romans in the New Testament, chapter 8 and verse 16. And this pretty much ties into what I was saying about, if you are walking in this truth or whatever, and you have ears to hear and eyes to see, then the spirit, bear witness against the spirit. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 16. And it says, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Okay. So, as plainly as I can say, is that when you hear the truth of the knowledge being preached, if it resonates with you and you can understand this truth, then that's the spirit that bear witness to you. And a lot of people say, well, how can you tell, that you're Israelite, this, and that? Simple, because if you have the spirit to believe that everything that you're hearing, and you've, with all due diligence, gone and research and study upon yourself, and based off the things that you see adds up to what the scripture says, and you firmly believe it, that's the spirit working with you, because the spirit, the seal has opened up, and whoever can receive the gospel and what's being preached and the truth being told, then that means the Most High is dealing with them. But the Most High is not dealing with everyone. That's the whole part of this lesson. The truth is not for everyone. Everyone can't get this. And that's okay, because it's not meant for some people to get. Some people were left as stumbling blocks for a reason. And this is the same problem that Yahweh Shah had when he came in, the flesh to preach the word. That's why you have certain Pharisees and scribes look at him like, man, who is this cat, man? Like, everything that you saying, no, we not rocking with. It can't be true. Okay, because their hearts were hardened. They didn't listen. They didn't believe. Okay, The spirit wasn't placed on them to believe, and that's all it is. Let's jump over to Luke chapter 8, and we're gonna start at verse 9. And it says, and his disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? Verse 10, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. We just spoke on that. Verse 11. Now the parable is this: the seed is the word of the Most High. Verse 12. Those by the wayside are they that hear, then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. Okay? So, let's stop right there and break that down. The ones who hear this truth, unless if they believe and be saved, the devil will come very swiftly away and take away the word out of their hearts, because the devil is always out. Satan is always out looking to disrupt the spirit. Okay. Give you an example. If you guys, obviously a lot of you are on YouTube, whether you watch some of the videos on my channel, or whether you watch some of the other brothers, elders, and apostles out there on the highways and byways preaching, when you see some of the brothers that go out, on the corners and preach the word, sometimes you'll see evil spirits come upon them and try to laugh and scoff at them and try to disrupt the word that's going out. All right. And it's the same thing that is saying here in verse 12, that the people that are around, if they're hearing the word, sometimes, Satan will try to go and disrupt that. And if he can find a weakness or a fault within you, then he best believe he's going to attack it so that you don't believe and that you can be saved from this truth going out. Verse 13. They on the rock are they, which when they hear, receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in a time of temptation fall. So we gonna see that when they implement this microchip. So give me an example. Everybody that's hearing this truth right now, they're reaping for joy. They find out that they are, the Most High's children. They find out that they're Israelite, okay, through the seed of their father, okay, pertaining to Numbers 1:18. And they take no pride in continuing onward with the truth, meaning they're not rooted within this truth and knowledge. They receive the truth, but then they don't go on to further their study so that they're rooted within the spirit. And then what happens is, because they didn't ground themselves within this truth, when temptation falls upon them, they'll give in. They'll fall out of the truth. And you see, and there's a lot of people out there that are like that, even right now, back before then. And it's happening today. You got a lot of people that's being opened up when you try to explain this truth and knowledge to them. And then if they don't do their, due diligence and studying to show themselves approved and to stay grounded so that they can build up their spirit and what's to come, when temptation comes, they fall right into the trap. They give in. That's basically what it's saying. Salakia, verse 14. All right. And that which fell among thorns are they, which when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares and riches and pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. So when you got other people out there that when the truth is given to them, they hear it, right? But they're still stuck in their ways pertaining to this life, this world. All right. Because the scriptures tells you he that, and I'm just roughly paraphrasing, but he that loveth the world don't loveth the Father, and the love of the Father is not in them. So if you are within this world, if you so focused on the pleasures of this life, building up riches for this life and everything, right? You bring no fruit to your perfection. You're so busy caught up in the world. You're caught up in doing things that what's the word I'm looking for? You're too caught up in doing things that satisfy the flesh. Okay. when you come into this truth, you don't have to place a burden on yourself to be overly righteous all the time, but you have to have a balance because the Most High is balanced. Okay. The Most High has a right hand side of doing good things and the Most High has a left hand side of doing good things. Okay. You can't come into this truth and get all of this education, edification, and knowledge, but then you turn around and you're still stuck in the ways of this world because the Father hates, he doesn't care. He doesn't have any care for this world because there is no wisdom in this world. All right. There is no wisdom in this world. All right. Verse 15. But that on the good ground are they which in an honest and a good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience. So now you have the people who are hearing this word, who are hearing the truth and the knowledge, and they hold steadfast onto it and they keep it because they believe in it. And they bring forth good fruit, meaning good works through faith, and they have patience at the same time. Those are the ones that's going to get saved. If they continue onward doing what it says here, they've taken the word, they've kept it, they believed in it soul-heartedly, and they hold steadfast with their faith, showing the works, and they have patience. All right. And that's what it's really all about. Let's go to Romans chapter 11, verse 8, and I'm going to wrap this up. This is book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 8. According as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Verse 9, and David said, let their table be made a snare, meaning Salakia. Let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Verse 10, let their eyes be darkened that they may not see and bow their back always. All right. Basically, they're saying here that for the ones who, don't want to take this truth and knowledge, it's okay. All right, because stumbling blocks is going to be placed onto them. So when they read the scriptures, right, the spirit is not going to bear witness to them and to understand. Right, they're going to fall into the traps of other man's doctrines. OK, they're not going to get it. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6. And it says here, howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of the Most High in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom, which the Most High ordained before the world unto our glory. Verse 8, which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. So it's talking about you're going to have certain cats out there where you try to bring this truth and knowledge into them, they're going to act like they're already wise, and have understanding, which they may do. But there's a difference. They have wise and understanding of this world. The Most High doesn't care about this world. So for any person who considers themselves to be wise and have understanding of this world, to them, they are a fool. And that's based off the scripture. Right? Let's jump over to chapter 3, verse 18. So you guys can get the point. This is the point. We're going to close it out. Verse 18, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Verse 20, and again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. Okay, so it's the whole point. In this truth and this knowledge, okay, everyone is not going to get it. And for the ones who do get it, and if they keep it, believe it, and have patience and show good works through faith, hey, man, you're going to be okay. But you're going to have certain cats out there when you try to spread this knowledge to them, they're not going to get it. The spirit doesn't bear witness to them to understand. And then, as it says here, you're going to have certain cats out there who going to already think they're wise and they understand what you're saying, but they don't, because they too caught up in the ways of this world. They may think that they know what you're talking about, but they don't. And then they going to try to throw it on you like, no, brother, it ain't like that. It's like this, and that. And then you see that their doctrine is coming on the ways of this world. But if any man was wise within this world, then why are we still beating each other? Why are we still killing each other? Why are we still committing adultery with each other? Why are we still doing things against our neighbor that is not in love? There's no wise in that. Okay, so I want to wrap it up right there. I didn't want to make this video too long. I'm going to do a part 2 to this to dive a little bit deeper, but I hope that you guys were sincerely edified through this lesson. And I want to say, give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. And, I want to say shalom to the elect out there, scattered across the 4 corners of the earth abroad. And I'll see you guys in the next lesson.